feeling a bit deflated today, just like my tyre. But I'm going to show you how to repair this tyre using the temporary repair kit that is supplied in this vehicle. On some modern vehicles, there isn't a spare wheel supplied from the manufacturers anymore. So they supply what we call a foam tyre repair kit. So I'm going to show you in this video how to use it. To find the foam inflator kit, it's normally in the boot of the vehicle and normally under the boot lining itself. It might be in a little bag like this. So what we've got is we've got a little airline attachment, a compressor to inflate the tyre with, and in some cars you actually use this alongside the foam to inflate it. The foam itself will probably be in a little bottle like this, and some little other attachments. This is to insert the foam into the tyre, and this is a nice little Schrader valve kit that we get with that as well. So these all look different from different models of vehicles, which is quite important to know. So in particular, this car has a certain way of inserting this foam, but it may be different depending on what vehicle you have. So always check with the manufacturer logbook on that as well. It'll also tell you on the compressor the instructions of how to use that kit that you've got. We now need to check what's actually caused the puncture of our tyre. So in this case, on the rear of the tyre, I'm just going to give the tyre a visual inspection. I'm not going to touch the back of the tyre because there could be cords or any loose bits behind the tyre which could damage my hands. Even though I've got my gloves on, there could be sharp cords around the back of that tyre. If you was to spot any cords or any major damage to the sidewall of the tyre, you wouldn't carry out this repair. But once you've checked and found what the puncture is, might be a nail or a screw, you'd wait till the tyre was cold and then you'd remove that screw or nail, and we can then crack on with the tyre repair. I've moved the car backward and forwards nice and slowly, and I've found my culprit, little screw in my tyre. So I've removed that when the tyre was cold, and I'm going to put that safely away. Don't put that back on the floor because you might run back over it again. Now what we need to do is remove the Schrader valve. The Schrader valve in the tyre is designed to hold air in, but also when it's pushed in to inflate the tyre. So your little dust cap here will be unscrewed, and you unscrew that anti-clockwise. And then the Schrader valve is located inside this main valve bit. Most kits should come with a tool that looks something like this. And you just literally put this in and you unscrew again anti-clockwise. Don't worry, you might hear a little bit of air coming out. That's absolutely fine. Don't put the foam in until that air is fully deflated and there's no noise coming from that valve. So now the air's fully deflated, there's nothing coming out of it. We need to make sure the valve's positioned at the bottom, which we've already got here. Now again, every kit is slightly different on these inflator kits, so refer back to the owner's manual on how to use this. In this particular kit, this little end syringe screws onto our bottle and pierces the foam. We need to give it a little shape before we use it, and this little attachment will go onto the valve itself. And we then now can insert the foam into the tyre. Now we've inserted the foam into the tyre, it's now time to inflate the tyre to the correct pressure. So what we need to do first is insert the Schrader valve back into the tyre using a tool. So we need to put that into the valve and screw clockwise. Now it will screw a few times and it will come to a stop. Now just be careful that you don't over tighten. It literally just needs a little nip up with your fingers, not too over tight, otherwise you could break the valve. Once we've got that in, it's now time to inflate the tyre. Now I've plugged my tyre compressor into the vehicle and I've got my ignition on, or you can have your engine running during this point. I now need to inflate it to the correct pressure, which on this particular vehicle I found on the inside door pocket. It may also be in the fuel cap or on the passenger side door pocket. If you're unsure of this, if you refer back to your owner's manual, it will tell you where to locate your tyre pressures. In this particular case, it's 39 psi. So I'm going to connect my compressor up and inflate it to 39 psi. So we've correctly set that to 39 psi, which is correct for this tyre. We're now just going to unscrew this machine and we're going to unscrew it anti-clockwise. You'll hear a slight bit of air loss as the valve gets released, but that's no concern at all. We now need to put the little dust cap back on, and that's screwed clockwise. Again, just be careful not to over tighten this, just do it until it stops. And that's the tyre fully inflated. There's just a couple things that are really important in regards to the foam kit. With most manufacturers, there is a speed restriction and mileage restriction within this foam. It is a temporary repair only, and this doesn't permanently repair the puncture. What this manufacturer states is 50 mile an hour max speed with a range of 150 miles. What I need to do first though is do 5 kilometers and recheck the pressure as per this manufacturing instructions. But this is all inflated. I'm going to quickly take it round the block, recheck it after, and hopefully I can now get to the tyre garage. Happy days.
Green flag.